Hey guys, I'm HOJ, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a best of one standard event with a Selesnya Airbender deck. So this is kind of a evolution of the Bant Airbender Ascension deck that I had been playing over the last couple days. And all the links are going to be in the description for the stats, the deck list, and all the playlists, everything else. And then there's also a link in the comments if you'd like to subscribe, if you like this kind of content and you want to see more. So for this version of the deck, the whole deck centers around Airbender Ascension, which is a 2-mana enchantment. When the enchantment enters, you can airbend up to one target creature, and then whenever a creature you control enters, put a quest counter on this enchantment. And then at the beginning of your end step, if you have 4 or more quest counters, you can exile it to one target creature you control and return it to the battlefield. So you can start bouncing creatures in and out and getting value. For our creatures, we're going to have some mana dorks. So we have full play set of Llanowar Elves at 1 mana, and then a full play set of Badgermole Cub to help give us some more acceleration at 2 mana, and 2 copies of Great Divide Guide just to help kind of fix mana even a little bit more. And then we also have 3 copies of Charming Prince on 2, which is a nice kind of card which can give us a little bit of help against a couple different decks. When it comes in, you can choose to either gain 3 life, scry 2, or exile another target creature you own and then return to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of the next end step. So this is also another way to kind of bounce creatures in and out. On 3 mana, we have Kutzil's Flanker, 3 copies of this to help kind of deal with a little bit against aggro, but also against Reanimator. And then 2 copies of Toby, Beastie, Befriender. So when this comes in, it creates a 4/4 white beast creature token. With this token can't attack or block alone. And then as long as you have 4 or more creature tokens you control have flying. So you can start bouncing this in and out every turn and start making 4/4s. And then we have a full playset of Sandstorm Salvager, which makes a 3/3 colorless golem creature token. And you can pay 2 mana and tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature token you control, and they gain trample until end of turn. So you can use this to kind of start making tokens. And then a full playset of Ouroboroid at the top end just to kind of buff everything up. For the mana, we have 22 land, I believe, yes. And then 2 copies of Cavern of Souls to help kind of fight through counter magic. The rest is all just kind of fast mana, just to have really good access to untapped mana. And that's the deck. Let's go ahead and jump into round 1. Kind of with the introduction of Temple Garden, just wanted to see if we could just make sort of a more kind of clean Selesnya version of this deck. The older Bant version had Aang of the Crossroads, which is a great card and a lot of fun, but trying out Selesnya. Also, the removal suite we have is a full play set of Seam Rip, and then also Unwanted Remake for a 1-mana instant to destroy target creature and have your opponent manifest dread. So I kind of wanted just like early, versatile removal. You could also run Sheltered by Ghosts, but there are a couple matchups where kind of having an enchantment is a little bit kind of clunky. So we're just trying this one out, seeing how it goes. All right, let's play our starting town in case we draw another one. And we could start with Sandstorm Salvager and start making tokens. Up against maybe Boros Burn, something like that. Okay, or maybe Jeskai Control. Alright, Jeskai, they do have board wipes, but not maybe as many as some other control versions, so we might just want to start powering out creatures. Could be facing either like Lightning Helix here, they might have Get Lost, or possibly No More Lies. So we can start with the Badgermole Cub, and I think we just want to kind of race, because once they get to 7 mana, they really start popping off. So go for the Badgermole and see if we can get Toby going here. If they just Helix it, we could use an Unwanted Remake to manifest Dread, but I think we're just going to maybe pump our tokens instead. Although they don't have too many creatures, so this is actually not a terrible idea. It also denies them some life, so let's just do that. And let's get the Great Divide Guide, so we can turn this into a Mana Dork if we want. Ooh, an Ouroboroid is really nice here. They could potentially have no more lies, but I think we just want to try to go for it. Or I guess another Helix, something like that. Yeah, there's the Helix. But I think you just kind of have to pressure him. Hopefully no board wipe on 4. Ah. Fortunately, they did have the board wipe. I think I'll just hold the Cavern here, just in case they hold up counter mana. Yeah, I think their deck runs, I guess let's do the attack first. If we get the option. You kind of have to race against Jeskai Revelation. So once they get to 7, they can take over the game. So we just kind of have to push. Probably looking for maybe Ultima or something like that. But if they don't have a board wipe here, we might have the game. Ooh, yeah, stock up is not what they're looking for. So even if they have Helix, I guess they don't die if they have Helix. They've already used 2. Alright, I guess they found the 3rd Helix. Ouroboroid is a nice pickup, though. That should be enough to push. Alright. Yeah, it is a little bit scary against this kind of deck, because you just have to just play into their board wipes and overextend. But it's really the only way you win, because if they get to 7 and start doing Jeskai Revelation, it just goes sideways really quick. Alright, 1-0. See what we're up against next. I've really had a lot of fun with kind of the sort of full sort of rotation of all the Airbender decks that I've built. If you want to see more of them, I have like one for almost every color pairing. There's just check the playlist and there should be all my other decks. Opening hand looks good. Unfortunately, no new cards from the new set here, so planning to have more videos with kind of more of the new stuff, but I just wanted to sort of finish out the Airbender decks, and they are a lot of fun. Okay, so nothing on 1. I suppose we could hold up Unwanted Remake. It might be worth it. If they have Badgermole, we want to kill it on 2. So let's actually do that. I don't think I want to kill the elves. They're not an important enough target. Chocobo is also a good threat to kill. So let's do that. There is a chance they could manifest something better, but Chocobo is a pretty nasty threat. Now we can start scrying here. I don't think gaining the life. I think we just want to set up our draws a little bit. Maybe, Yeah, it's a nice 1-on-3, and then we've got mana stuff to do. It is a little bit of a dice roll with the Unwanted Remake, because they could have a better card here, but at least deals with the problem, at least temporarily. Yeah, I think we're willing to trade here. Just get it off the field. Although I suppose like we could start growing stuff with Ouroboroid. If this is just a land, maybe we just race instead. Okay, we've got enough green we can name human here, doesn't really matter. I suppose actually we should have attacked first. I don't think there's going to do anything for one green, but just a good habit to attack first. Hopefully this is just like a land or something not very useful that they can't flip over. Okay, Hydra is another major threat. We're definitely going to want to Unwanted Remake that. And actually, I think we probably do it this turn. This is such a huge threat that, like, if they go for something like Ice Till Explorer plus like tap land, they could theoretically make it. What is that, like 2, 4, 8, 16? Like absurdly huge next turn. I think this is a must-kill threat. Ouroboroid is great, but we can still like flash Salvager in and out, which is pretty good. So I think we just do that this turn. They might need another turn of setup on Hydra, but it is pretty dangerous leaving it alive. So we're just going to opt for safety here. All right, let's get in. We could also flash the other Charming Prince and then flash the Salvager, and then it come at the opponent's end step, which is kind of interesting. So that's good against potential like board wipes and control. But right now, let's just push. Also, there is a chance that they have like Snakeskin Veil. They might also have like Overprotect or something like that. So the question is it better to Unwanted Remake the Hydra now or on their turn, like on their like upkeep? Okay, looks like they've got something here. Maybe they want to use their Snakeskin Veil. Go ahead and flash that in and out. Yeah, I guess I don't know if they paused there for... We can do it on our end step. I'm just curious if they have priority. Okay, I don't think they do. Let's put a pause here, and now we'll just get their Hydra before they can untap. Ah, they did have something. That's too bad. Yeah, they had the Snakeskin Veil ready. Whew. Alright, so we might just be done if they can make it big enough. I suppose like the other possibilities, we could like let them untap and then like try to do a bunch of stuff and not have mana up. But that with Snakeskin Veil, it's pretty easy to play around that. Thankfully, no like go and find land, but they are drawing cards here, which is pretty nasty. Whew. Yeah, that Snakeskin Veil was super rough. probably just dead here, so we don't have an answer for Hydra. Unfortunately. I guess if we'd like gone for Ouroboroid the turn before, like, maybe it would have been big enough. But yeah, pretty much now we're just kind of trying to survive through this Hydra. I don't think we will be able to, and we don't really have enough to push. I haven't seen this one before. That's kind of cool. And that's probably going to be lights out. I'll make it a 2020. Yeah, Terra Symbiosis has been great for them. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's probably it. Because, yeah, we have 13 points of blocking just for the Hydra, but assuming that they attack with everything, we're just dead. You never know, maybe they won't attack, but they probably will. Technically, we do live through this if we block with everything, but then we're still dead, so yeah, we'll just call it. All right, 1-1. I gotta get better at watching them for priority to give away the Snakeskin Veil. Opening hand looks good. We've got Llanowar Elves on 1. Go ahead and choose green for this. Then we've got a nice turn 2 Salvager to really get the pressure going. And then on 3 we can go Ascension and then replay the Salvager. Okay, up against the Rabbit deck. Let's get starting town out there. Can start building our army here soon. But Might Caller is pretty good. I mean, they can get pretty big pretty fast. Just depends on how good their draw is. Quest Caller is a nice start. Ooh, Seam Rip is really good. Question is it better to Seam Rip the Quest Caller or the Might Caller? Because they're both going to get... I mean, this is going to provide a lot of value. This will be pretty huge. Yeah. So we could Seam Rip... and then like Flanker to set up our draws, or we could go for like the Ascension play and replay Salvager. Got a couple different options here. I think I'm just going to attack in and see what they do. Start there and kind of go from there. Also Seam Rip later. We don't have to do it now. So I think maybe we just start making an army. I kind of like that play. It will give them some extra scries, but I think I'm okay with that. It's like removal is usually better like if you have more board presence, so you want to kind of try to do that first if possible. Oh, that's nice. Oh, now we can get it to come back into play again. Whew, this is working out. Glad we held the seam rip. I don't think they're going to offer the trade here, but we will take it if they give it to us. Works for me. And now we've got our Airbender Ascension maxed up to 4, so we're going to start bouncing in and out every turn. Oh yeah, this is good. We could seam rip here, but again, we don't really have to. I guess if we have enough mana to do everything else. Alright, so let's pump up our golems. Get in. Start putting on some pressure. Again, we don't really need to seam rip right now. We could Great Divide Guide. But I think let's just flank her and just see if we can find something a little better. And now we can start making our army. Yeah, Airbender Ascension plus Salvager is pretty fun. Yeah, and they're just gonna... They've had enough. Makes sense. Alright, 2 and 1. I will also say that if you guys like this deck is a lot of fun to play. Highly recommend it. You can just imagine the look on your opponent's face when you're just making 3/3s every turn for no expenditure, just like infinite value. It's a lot of fun. Alright, opening hand looks good. We've got a couple of Ouroboroids, almost enough mana to get there. Charming Prince can do some scrying for us to help us find that 4th land. And then hopefully we can get the Unwanted Remake to do something. Go for green. Could have held up Unwanted Remake, but I don't think we need it here right away. Could be wrong. I guess if they have Ouroboroid. Alright, they probably take Ouroboroid here, or maybe Badgermole Cub. This might be a Reanimator, so we should kind of be aware. Alright, we can go for Passage. I think we want Passage on white plus Llanowar Elves. I don't think we care about their 3-drop. If it's... they probably just play like the new elf and go like find Cavern or something like that. So I don't think we need Unwanted Remake up just yet. I suppose if they play like the Bookworm, if they have like blue mana, then maybe we should have Unwanted Remake there. Sure. They will slow us down for another turn. Let's do some scrying. Maybe we can find something good to do. Seam Rip. I don't think that really helps us here. Yeah, I think we just can do better. Yeah, the new Reanimator deck is really good. They've got Deceit, which they can use to go and strip, like, control opponents' hands, and they have Wistfulness to deal with any kind of like enchantments or artifacts. And then there's the new the Formidable Speaker, which is I think one of the best cards in the new set, to go and find anything they want. Okay, I guess they just get Deceit back and take an Ouroboroid. Sure. Actually, bouncing this back is pretty good for us. I don't think we want to kill their Cavero, because then they can just do it again with this Awaken the Undead. Alright, let's get Ouroboroid going while we still have one. Yeah, I do think that the new Sultai Reanimator deck is, or possibly 4-color Reanimator, is one of the best decks now, especially with all the new creatures that have come out. And mostly the Formidable Speaker, I think, is what really elevates it above kind of the rest of the decks out there. They have another Cavero? Guess so. I guess Deceit number 2. It's just a really nice all-around value card. Yep, Deceit number 2. Okay. Yeah, like the hand stripping ability is just amazing. Suppose we could Unwanted Remake. Putting it in their yard is kind of dangerous, but dealing with 8 damage flying at us pretty quickly also sucks. I guess let's set up our draws a little bit. See if we can find something better. Airbender Ascension is a good way to start, maybe. We could start bouncing our Charming Prince in and out. Is that good enough? Badgermole Cub. Yeah, because they just go and find Wistfulness if we bounce their stuff, which isn't great. Could keep scrying. I don't know if we have time for all that, though. We might need just like a better card. I guess we might have time with the Unwanted Remake. Yeah. I don't think I mean, Badgermole Cub can also buy us a little bit of time. I guess let's try it. So I think I'm going to hold the elf here just so we can get the extra trigger off of the Airbender Ascension, just to try to power it up. We are definitely going to take some damage, though. I don't know if this plan is going to work, also. This might just be just like a bad idea. Oof, Cavero number 3 is brutal. Well, at least they won't have a third. Actually, I suppose they could get another. They could get Wistfulness now. Need to just stem the bleeding a little bit here. Sure, okay. They've had a very Cavero heavy game so far. Yeah, was afraid of that. That's going to be a beating. However, we can Airbender Ascension their Cavero, which we should definitely do. I guess they can just do it again, because we have another one. Oh, that actually doesn't really help too much. Yeah, I think we might just be done. Because they just Cavero again for our other Ouroboroid. Maybe they go for Wistfulness instead to get rid of our Airbender Ascension. Yeah, no, okay. Never mind. Alright, well, we're not technically dead, but we don't really have a way to get out of this. I think that's pretty much it. Beaten down by triple Cavero. All right, 2-2. Let's see if we can continue. All right, opening hand looks good. Let's keep it. You can also bounce the Badgermole Cubs in and out to keep Earthbending if you want, so that's another possibility. All right, they've got Momo, but I think we just want to start setting up our mana. Hopefully we can get Badgermole to stick, and then kind of be off to the races. So if they leave the Badgermole alone, ideally we go Badgermole into Salvager. Okay, 2 can play the Airbender Ascension game. Sure. Alright, that's a nice pickup. I think we want to name maybe Human here. Could also name Plant, I suppose, if they get rid of our other stuff. Since we already have green, yeah, maybe we name Plant since it's double green. All right. Doesn't really matter how we do this, because we can just, I guess we can play Salvager. We could also do another Badgermole Cub. Plus Seamrip. I kind of like that, actually. Oops, let's see. Hang on. Let's tap it a little bit differently. We'll just Badgermole up. Have a cool 9 mana. Alright, down to 6 mana. Still works. Could just double Salvager. I mean, that's pretty nasty. Or we could like Seamrip Ascension. Yeah, maybe we should get Ascension going. Alright, let's just tap it all. Alright, let's see. I guess we can Salvager and then Ascension. Let's just double Salvager. This is still pretty good. See if they want to take the trade. All right, they're going for it. We are going to lose 3 mana here, but I think we have a decent position. I don't really expect a board wipe. I spoke too soon. Yeah, Avatar's Wrath makes sense. I guess let's name plant. Alright, we can seam rip their Ascension and then just start it with our Salvagers. We could also just Salvager plus... Actually, maybe let's just Salvager plus map token. Oh, never mind. We can't play these this turn, so... Good Charming Prince. Maybe we just start setting up with Ascension here. And I guess let's seam rip their Ascension. Alright, so they probably have counterspell like Even, whatever it's called, to counter our Salvagers. So we could try to Charming Prince, but I think maybe we just go for it. See if they probably have Aven here, I assume. Maybe not. Or maybe they might have Aang. Do we want Elf? I think we can do better than Elf. Yeah, Wanji Tong is pretty good. Thankfully, we have Charming Prince, so if we need to, like, race it, we can keep gaining life. Sure. They're not attacking. We could Airbender Ascension. Get double Ascension going. I guess since they could have no more lives, let's play out the mana here. And let's get another green. Maybe just Charming Prince and then bounce again. We could also Airbender Ascension, but I think I'd rather just Prince. We're doing okay on life, so let's start bouncing these in and out. And I guess we could put another counter on our other golem. Ooh, let's get another bounce. They're gonna need another Avatar, Avatar's Wrath to get out of this one, I think. Hopefully no more board wipes. Alright, 6 mana is a little bit better than 5. Let's have 6 untapped mana. We can double pump. I think that's probably the plan. Guess we can do it mid-combat so we can attack first. For some reason, a lot of opponents don't remember that it also gives them trample. Alright, and let's do one more Ascension. We can just flash out maybe a Salvager, just in case they do have like a board wipe or something like that. 12, I think we're okay on life. So the other possible play we could do here, we could have, actually, it probably would have been better to bounce out the Prince, and then when Prince comes back, we bounce the Salvager, and then it comes back at their end step, so it gets around to Wrath. That is another kind of key play with this interaction. Didn't end up having the board wipe, but that might have been a little bit better. Alright, 3 and 2, we fight on. Okay, opening hand looks good. Could use a little bit more mana, but we have stuff to do. We are on the draw. Alright, there's the mana. Can hold up Remake. Probably Izzet Lessons. So if they have Grand, definitely killing that. Ooh, Otter is another good target. I think we probably want to get rid of that. It is very troublesome. I suppose we could just Seam Rip it instead, and maybe just hold up Remake in case they have like a Slick Shot show off. So I guess we just hold here. Could be Izzet, could be Dimir. Alright, what does this thing do? Create a 1/1 blue red otter. Okay. They make a bunch of otters, got it. I don't think we want to remake the otters just yet. Badgermole is nice, but I think we need some on-the-ground defense. We could flanker and try to draw their land. I suppose we could Badgermole with like Unwanted Remake up. That's another option. Could also Toby, but if they get rid of Toby, then we can't block. So Salvager is like a good defensive option. They might have bounce too, so I think I'm going to Salvager here. I'm not sure which one is right. Yeah, maybe we should have gone for Badgermole. I don't know. Okay, we've got Otters coming into the red zone. I think we hold on to our Salvager at least for now. Temple Garden, alright, that's a good start. We're going to take a bit of damage here, but I think we want to get Ouroboroid going. Otherwise, we could Badgermole into... Actually, I kind of like that more. Gives us a 4/4. I mean, getting Ouroboroid going, though, if we can have that survive, it's pretty great. Won't really be able to block too well, though. I guess we could, like, throw our Salvager in front of one of their guys. If they have bounce for Ouroboroid, though, it seems pretty bad. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the Badgermole Cub play. Don't know if it's correct, but it's... kind of gets more creatures down. Do they triple push is the real question. Okay, so they are pushing. I think we can throw Toby away. Salvager seems a little bit more useful here. So we can chump here and then take one of the tokens out. Alright, Seamrip is pretty good. Let's get Ouroboroid going. And then probably just Seamrip their biggest otter. Storm Chaser gets Lightning Strike. So that is potentially good also. I think we just want to deal with the board presence though right now. Alright, I think we want to be a little defensive. I guess we can get into Salvager here and then have these two back as blockers. They are going for probably Lightning Strike. Yep. Right, Elusive Otter is going to be a good one for Unwanted Remake. So we could potentially give this thing Trample. We could also Flanker right now. I think we just actually... Let's see, they're at 18. I think we can take maybe one more turn here, gain some life, and then have... I think I want to have access to these Unwanted Remakes for sure. Because otherwise we have 7... Like, we don't quite... If they do, like, the right blocks, we don't have lethal. let's just do flanker. Gain some much needed life. I don't think we need a third remake. Okay, we have a number of blockers here. I think we can probably, let's get in with the Badgermole Cub. Alright, so they have Lightning Strike plus Otterball Antics. Alright, they're going level 3. I think that's probably going to do it. Buff up our guy. We could also Unwanted Remake the Otter, but we can do that later. So, and that should do it. Even with 3 blocks, I think they're still dead. Yeah. Alright, on to the next. Alright, 4 and 2. Opening hand looks great. Lots of acceleration. Charming Prince to maybe set up our draws. Hopefully no shock on 2. Alright, so they might have, well, I guess Helix? Sure. Next turn we can double Badgermole even if they kill this one. Looks like they're gonna do it. This is kind of nice though because this is taking away from like their board presence. So happy for them to spend all this time doing this. Alright, access to 9 mana. More burn. Okay, Hellkite is alright. If they've got mana, we can Unwanted Remake it if they try to play it again. Could get Airbender Ascension going. Could also just Charming Prince and gain some life. Yeah, I guess getting a little bit of board presence. Although if we Airbender Ascension first, we can start building. Yeah, I think I'm actually just gonna... Let's see. I think I'm just gonna Airbender Ascension their Hired Claw. And then hold the remake for their Nova Hellkite. So we could Prince here, but... I mean, we can take the hit, honestly. If we just gain some life, start working on this, getting a bit of word presence. Yeah, I should hold the Unwanted Remake, though. Alright, so let's just send. Alright, there's the mana. There's the Hellkite. It was actually a remake all along. Alright, let's Charming Prince and start getting some more Badgermoles going. Could turn that land back on. We could also just... Actually, let's probably just gain life here. It's not quite as interesting. Although we have the Ascension out, so maybe we're supposed to just bounce the Badgermoles in and out. Could also Seam Rip their face down. Alright, let's get it. I'm happy to trade, I think, first. See what they do. I think we want to have access to extra white. Yeah, I think we want to start going on the Airbender Ascension. And then let's just Seam Rip this. Oh. Yeah, and I guess they've had enough. Wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do there, but we got there. Basically, I wanted to get the Airbender Ascension up to 4 counters and then start bouncing our Prince in and out, gaining life. Alright, 5 and 2. Alright, opening hand looks good. We have some acceleration, some removal, and Ouroboroid. A little bit of Painland. Alright. Probably Dimir. I guess it's possible I draw a 3rd starting town, so maybe I lead out with one of these. This way we have access to remake. This thing has ward, okay. See if we can get the Badgermole to stick. Fairy deck. Have all of the fairies. Definitely fairy beatdown. But now we just want to Ouroboroid, I'm pretty sure. I don't think they kill us from 14. So they could untap their Sleep Cursed Fairy and hit for Fairy Fencing. Okay. We're definitely racing. Alright. So they could potentially double untap this next turn and swing for 9. So I think we definitely need to Seam Rip. Taking some pain here, potentially. Yeah, the problem is they can hit us for 7. So I don't think we can actually play these just because of the pain. Could take a turn off to Unwanted Remake, but that doesn't really do much for us. Yeah, this is not good. I think we have this come in tapped. I don't think we can unfortunately Ouroboroid this turn. Because if they untap everything, we die. We can Seam Rip the Obra. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Have access to Unwanted Remake. I think we want to get the mana creature down. Yeah, I'm trying to see how we pull this off. So they just have a little bit of a jump on us. Actually, maybe not playing the Llanowar Elves and then using Remake to pay for the ward cost would have been better. Saves us 3 damage. Okay, now they're going to try to make one of their guys a 4/4 and we can remake it. As long as they don't target... Yeah, if they go for that one, that'll work. So now we drop to 4. I think we're still just a little bit too slow. Yeah, unless they misplay this here, I think we're just done. Because we have 3, 7, 9. It's not enough. Guess we'll play it out, but yeah, they probably just take us here. And this is probably the end. Oh, Flittering Nuisance. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Well, we tried. We ended up going 5-3, so not too bad. And there it is. I don't know if Unwanted Remake was kind of the card. Like it was sort of useful in a couple places, but it just probably would have been better as Sheltered by Ghosts, to be honest. I was just sort of trying it out. So 5-3, ended up making a little bit back. Open up these sweet packs here for you. All right, so yeah, in hindsight, I think if I were to run the deck again, would probably remove the Unwanted Remakes and replace them with Sheltered by Ghosts. Other than that, the deck felt pretty good. We didn't see a flanker against the Reanimator match, but I could see maybe upping this to 4 just because it is that big of a threat in the format right now. Other than that, yeah. If you like this deck, try it out, and we will see you guys in the next one.